Okay, so I'm going to be reviewing assignment 1. I'll try to go through this quickly so it's not too long, but enough detail so you have enough to go on. So, the first one is nursing philosophy. So basically, answer the questions in the grading rubric and make sure that you share a little bit about why a philosophy is important. Okay? The next question, A&A 1 through 6. So how about I go like this? Okay, so look back at discussion 1, okay, and look at why the healthcare has changed over the last 50 years. Share that information. And then, there we go. What are the differences, right? What's different now than years ago, right? And what thinking has changed? What kind of decisions are changed between now and then, right? So just one example is, right, we're using a lot of technology to do our assessments. So 30, 40 years ago, we didn't have electronic blood pressure cuffs. If they were around, I didn't use them. So think about those kinds of things, okay? Next one are the standards, 7 through 16. There we go. So you're going to choose 2 of them and be sure that you relate them back to your philosophy. I can tell you that's one of the #1 reasons why points are deducted is because somebody will describe those standards quite well, but how do they connect back to why you're a nurse and what your beliefs and values are? So make sure what you write in any of the questions that relate back to your philosophy, that what you're writing about in your philosophy is actually shared in your response to these questions. Okay? A&A platform. This is another example, right? So connect it back to your philosophy. So if you choose the magnet designation, A&A magnet, discuss how this relates back to you as a person, as a nurse. Next one is pretty straightforward. It's your professional development plan. Basically, 1 goal. Be sure to choose 1 goal and 3 actions. And one of the most common reasons why points are deducted here, because there's really no right and wrong, is when students choose more than 1 education, right? Somebody might say, I'm going to get certification and I'm going to get a master's degree. So that's 2 education pieces. So choose 3 different kinds, okay? Now we'll get into the nursing role. Okay, so you're going to choose a role that you're either interested in or one that you're just curious about. Okay, so basically 1 or 2 sentences for the definition. You don't need a lot. It's only worth a point. Okay, and then skills. Organize and explain them. Sometimes I find all the skills in 1 long set paragraph. So look at the video on the course homepage on how to organize your paper. Okay, that'll really make it easy for me to find the information, because if I can't find it or it's in different areas and hard to find, you don't want to lose any points if I can't find it. And remember, these are interpersonal skills, not clinical skills. So if you choose a nurse practitioner, a skill isn't going to be able to write prescriptions or diagnose. An interpersonal skill is like what's in the rubric, communication or critical thinking, things like that. Strengths and weaknesses. Now you're going to talk about the skills from the skills section, okay, that you just wrote about. Which ones do you happen to have some strengths in right now? Maybe you don't have any strengths, but find something. See what you can do. And make sure you just respond to all the questions. Basically, that's key to most of the assignment. As long as you answer those questions, and your sentence isn't just restating the question, you'll do just fine with that. A lot of times I do see the question as being restated, and especially when there's a page limit, if you're just going to restate the question and then share your answer, it kind of takes up space that you could use to answer the question, if that makes sense. A&A standards. So these are basically, make sure you have enough depth. That's kind of something that I find has been an issue. It is worth 5 points each one because you choose 2 standards. Doesn't have to be long. Again, check out that resource on the course homepage about the weight of each question, okay? And how and why that standard applies to the role. So make sure it's unique to that role, okay? Just writing about the standard in general without talking about the role and why, like why would collaboration be important for a nurse, a school nurse? The nurse needs to collaborate with the patient's, the student or the staff member's doctor if need be, right? You can't do it all on your own, right? And the reflection of the role. Now, this is only worth 5 points where the other questions are worth 10, right? So basically, what do you think? What do you think about the role, what you just learned about strengths, weaknesses, you know, there's different standards? All right. There's really no right or wrong. Most of the time, points are deducted when there's only like one sentence, maybe two. Okay. So depth is something to keep in mind. All right. The last question are reflection of the standards. So basically, the only time that there's an issue is when there's no practice example. Okay. Or when this question is not about the standards. So that's that. So check these out. Course homepage. I can't stress the writing tutor more. Use discussion 1 feedback. That's got a lot of really good APA information. And the sample APA paper, that's located in the writing tutor website there, and your APA manual. If you don't have a manual, I highly suggest you get one. You're going to need it throughout the program. I'm here for you. Call me. Okay. That'll do it. Good luck on the paper. I'm here.